So if you're new to my channel, I'm a mum of two. I normally work full time, but at the moment I'm on maternity leave. I previously did Slim and World to lose weight a number of times, but last time after having my first son, I documented it and started my YouTube channel on how I was losing my weight with Slim World. Um, so yeah, now roll on like 3 years later, I've had another baby, this little one here, another boy. And this time round, I'm using calorie counting to lose my baby weight and the little bit more I'd gained before falling pregnant. So far, I've lost, I think it was 24 pounds, or no, 25 pounds, yeah, so far. So yeah, my I'm now half a stone less than my pre-baby weight. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how it's been going. Some people might be wondering how comes I didn't do Slim World this time. So if I just explain a bit about my weight loss journey so far. So like when I was at uni, I wasn't overweight. Yeah, I looking back now, I think, oh my gosh, I look like really thin. But at the time, I didn't think I was really thin. But I think that's like a young girl mindset anyway. So then, like when I started like working, um I gradually started putting on a bit more and more weight because we had like biscuits in the office and we'd have like work lunches, which would be like takeaways for the whole team and things like that. So and I just gradually got off of generally healthy eating and started having different foods. Anyway, so then in 2018, in the run up to my wedding, my colleague Lucy gave me her old Slim World book. So I used that to lose, I think it was roughly about half a stone running up to my wedding. So I did that and I was enjoying it. I didn't find it too difficult. She gave me a lot of tips about the general things she would eat when she did that before. So I just did that, like snacking on rich tea biscuits, for example, was one of the things I remember, and so on. So yeah, did that, lost the weight. But as soon as I'd had my wedding, even the next day, that was it. It all went out the window because I'd got to the weight for that day, had the pictures, then it was just like, I can eat whatever now. So yeah. Also when I got married, like my husband's Nigerian and I was like, I'd learnt how to do all this Nigerian cooking. So I'd spend like ages cooking all this food for him. And then so by the time it got to making my own dinner, I'd be like, I'll just have whatever sort of thing. So yeah, then during my pregnancy with my first son, generally I actually crave quite healthy stuff. And also in my head, I had this mindset of I feel like I should be doing something to help like grow this baby, but the reality is you don't really do anything, your body does everything. So in my head I thought the one thing I can do is actually eat some good nutritious food. So I tried to eat fruit and generally some healthy foods, made sure I had fibre. So still applying some of the principles of Slim and World, but I wasn't tracking at all whilst pregnant or anything like that. And at the start of the pregnancy, obviously when I was feeling a bit more sick and things like that, I was eating quite plain food, probably like plain jacket potatoes and chips and things like that. But yeah, generally I kept trying to keep up my fitness. I remember a month before giving birth to my first son, we went to Cornwall and we did so many steps, like yeah. Um so yeah, I was quite active, but I had him in the summertime. So like literally the few weeks before giving birth, I then like suddenly inflated literally with like water retention. My legs swelled and everything. But yeah, it was fine. Anyway, roll on having him. Then I realised that my fitness just totally like got whacked having the baby. Like then even to walk 10,000 steps, like the months after having him was seemed just like so impossible. Like it was such a struggle. I just didn't have the strength. Anywho, I just thought after like my mum and baby checks, I think about you have that around 6 to 8 weeks after having the baby. I thought, right, now I want to like feel nice in my body again. So I just thought Slim World is something that is familiar from doing it for my wedding, so I'll just do that from home. I wasn't really interested in that time as going to a group because like when I first had my son, I found it so hard to just get out of the house. It probably took 6 months for me to get out of the house properly, to be honest. And he used to scream in the car when I did go out, so it really put me off. So it was just like, no. So yeah, so I started doing Slim World from home, and then I after a while started documenting it, and I didn't actually realize that I would end up getting down to like my lowest weight for years and years doing Slim World, because when I fell pregnant with my first son, I was about 11.5 stone, and when I finished my Slim World journey, I got down to 10 stone 6, about 10.5 stone. So actually, I was feeling amazing. Like Slim World really worked for me at that time. I was on maternity leave, so I could do lots of batch cooking at a time which fit around the baby and so on. It worked at that time. Now, I also was breastfeeding my son, and I planned to stop at 1 year, but that didn't work out and I ended up breastfeeding him till he was 18 months old. Now, when I stopped breastfeeding at that time, like I'd maintained my weight up to then. But then after that I started putting on a lot of the weight that I'd lost. So this was like, was it last year or the year before? Anyway, around that time so many other things were going on as well, so it wasn't really the stopping breastfeeding that made me put the weight back on. I don't believe, looking back now, it was that I stopped following the plan. That's what happened. Also, some months later, like there was just lots of stuff went on at that time. Basically, closest one of my close friends passed away just before her 25th birthday, so that was just a huge thing. And there was just so many things going on at that time. So looking back, I can understand why it wasn't at the forefront of my mind to keep on tracking, basically. So yeah, but I had maintained my weight loss for about a year when I fell off of it, basically. Then sort of like 6 months later, I then started a new job, which has been quite full on because it's sort of in a different sector, sort of. So I've had a lot to learn, and I was doing some traveling and different things. So again, I wasn't really in the set. I was having more convenience food and not tracking still. But I felt very conscious starting my new job, bigger than I had been, because I felt amazing when I'd lost that weight and got down to 10.5 stone. Like I felt incredible. I felt I could wear modern clothes again. I didn't feel like like mumsy sort of thing. But then yeah, so I did feel very conscious starting my new job, not my best self as such, like not feeling confident in office clothes and things like that. Anyway, so I started eating healthily. Then, like within a month, found out I'm pregnant with my baby, and I was like, all right. So the plan to get back on it didn't then happen because I was like, now I'm pregnant, and then I felt a lot more sick with him than with my first son. So I was just like eating even more plainer food. Yeah. But then basically after like about 3 months, I tried to because I started feeling less sick, I then tried to just eat more healthily because I was conscious that I don't want to get like enormous if I can help it. Like I wasn't restricting, but I just tried to I felt I needed to constantly eat, so I tried to pick some like healthy things like dried cranberries, seeds, things to snack on during the day which weren't sort of high calorie so much, things like that. But that's about it. I still sort of generally ate what I wanted to eat and I didn't track. So anywho, but when I fell pregnant I was around 12 stone, and we'd had a holiday before I started that job, and in the pictures for that holiday I remember looking at the pictures and it was a big reality check that gosh, I have put on a lot of weight, like compared to when I was 10.5 stone. I felt really upset with myself and quite disappointed, to be honest, that I looked at the pictures thinking I would look generally okay. I knew I'd put on weight, but like seeing the pictures of me on the beach with my first son, I thought, oh gosh, like I really gone further than I'd realised. So yeah, anywho, that's what sort of again motivated me, that I knew that once I'd had my son, the one that's snoring at the moment, I thought I will get back on it, because I you don't forget that feeling of feeling amazing when you are at a healthy weight. So yeah, so now yeah, I'm a mum of two, and I'm on maternity leave. But again, another reason why I picked calorie counting this time and not Slim World is because I know that when my life gets busy, I switch back to convenience food. And we do have a busy life. Me and my husband work full time, and aside from that, we have church commitments and other commitments in the week. So yeah, we do have a busy life. So, and also it's a realization that other weekend now, I want to spend time with my older son and I want to spend time with the children. I won't spend half of Saturday doing loads of batch cooking like I used to do. Like I don't want to do that now. And that's honesty. Like, you know, since it's turned autumn recently, I have done some batch cooking, but it's been when I felt like it, not like I feel like I've got to do that, otherwise I'm going to put on weight, basically. So, yeah, that is where I'm up to at the moment. I've picked calorie counting because I know that you can have convenience options and calorie count, and like, you know, because if I had some convenience things on Slimming World, I would have used all my sins on my meals, and then I won't have any for having like a treat in the evening, basically. And I used to like using all my 15 sins on chocolate or, you know, fiber one bars or things like that. I didn't want to lose even one sin on my meals, so I used to have like 3 meals. So I know that for me at the moment, I can't see Slim World working, even though it worked for me before. Towards the end of my first my weight loss journey after having my first son, I did go to a group towards the end, and that really did help me lose that last half a stone, because I got more ideas of the diversity of things you can have on Slim World, some good recipe ideas, and it was nice to meet people who have that same love of the plan like I had at the time. So yeah, but for me, like actually going and getting weighed, I didn't really find it so much of a positive experience, because like some weeks, like it depends who's on the weight loss, the weigh-in desk basically. But for me, it wasn't a totally positive experience getting weighed with other people around. Um, you know, I just prefer weighing in at home, to be honest. But I went there for more for the ideas and to be able to get hi-fi bars and stuff like that. But yeah, but that is me personally, and yeah, this is just my story basically. So yeah, that's why this time around I've tried calorie counting. Now I did think at the start that it'll be incredibly complicated, and that I'm not sure if I'll stick with it, but I thought let me try it. But actually I've been surprised that it has been easier than I thought, but that is because I'm using NutriCheck, which I find very easy to use. And yeah, and once you keep using the app, it becomes easier to use. It remembers your frequently used foods. So yeah, it becomes easier and easier, but it still is effort for sure. But what I realised is that the reason I put on the weight before was because I stopped tracking. I wish I could get to the point where I could just eat mindfully without counting in any kind, But I think the reality is, if I do need to track in some way, otherwise I put on weight. That is what happens with me. So, even now I've got to my current goal. I'm not sure if I want to lose any more or not, but I'm just gonna have a few weeks of maintenance calories and then figure out if I want to lose more or not. But now I'm at 11.5 stone. I don't think I'll get down to 10.5 stone this time around because I want it to be more manageable. But we'll see. I'm not sure yet. I'm just taking a bit of a pause here because obviously I have been in weight loss mode for like some months now. So yeah, that is where I'm up to. And I just thought I've had some new subscribers, so maybe they won't know much about me. Yeah, so that is my story so far.